So when you're solving equations, you can use multiplication and division. And so this is the property that you can use here. So if you've got A equals B, you can always divide both sides by some number and both the equations will be balanced as long as you divide both by the same side. Okay. You can also multiply both sides by something as well. So you can either divide both sides by C or you can multiply both sides by C and you'll still have things that are going to be equal to each other. So let's look at some problems where we focus on this particular property. So we're using this in order to get the variable by itself. So on this case here, I have negative 3y equals 21. I want to get the y by itself. So on these kind of problems, you're always doing the opposite operation of what you see. So right here, that's like negative 3 times the y. So I can instead divide both sides by the negative 3. So I'm doing that. So I'm basically dividing both sides by the same thing. Both sides of the equation are still balanced here because you're dividing by the same thing on both sides. Now, if I take negative 3 over negative 3, I get a 1 from that. So I have a 1y will equal negative 7. And the 1 I don't need to show, so I can just write it as y equals negative 7. And then that would be my answer. So that's how you would use the division property in order to solve that. Now we want to check our answer. Okay, so checking our answer, you have negative 3. And you're going to just put in, instead of y, we're going to put in negative 7. If I multiply, negative and negative gives you a positive. So I do get the same thing on both sides. So therefore, I've proven that the answer of negative 7 is correct here. So we have one more we'll do with solving it and then checking the answer. And the rest of them we'll just go ahead and solve. This here, negative 72 equals negative 8x. We want to divide both sides by negative 8. Whatever number is in front of the x, that's the one you want to choose to divide by because we want that number in front of the x to go away. That's why we're working with the right-hand side this time because we want the number in front of the x to turn into a 1. Negative 72 divided by negative 8 is positive 9. And then I get a 1x in front, negative 8 over negative 8. So then I can just flip that around and write it as x equals 9. We want to check our answer now, which means I want to put a 9 in for the x. And then I'm going to simplify, and I'm looking to see if I get both sides equal. I do. So that's a true statement. Therefore, that means x equals 9 is the correct answer. We've checked our answer here. Let's do a couple more here. Okay, we have 18m equals 0. Again, what we want is we want the number in front of the m to go away. So I want to divide both sides by 18. Whatever number is in front of the m, that's the one you want to divide by to make that go away. Now, it's important to know when something is undefined and when something is going to be equal to 0. If the 0 is on top, 0 divided by anything is 0. The only time it's undefined is when you're dividing something by a 0. So if a 0 is in the bottom of the fraction, that you can't do. That's undefined. But if 0 is in the top, then you can do that. So m equals 0 would be the correct answer there. Next one, you have negative 14d equals 56. Now you want to get the d to be by itself. So whatever number is in front of the variable, that's the one you want to divide by. So I'm going to divide both sides here by negative 14. Okay, so again, make sure you remember to use the correct sign. Another thing I see people making a lot of mistakes with here is forgetting to put the minus sign there. It's a very common mistake. So don't forget to do that. Make sure you divide by it. Okay. Now, when I do that, again, I have a 1D. You don't have to write the 1 in front of it. I'm showing you the 1 only so you can see kind of how it works here. But you don't have to do that. You could actually just put d equals 4. And actually, this is another mistake I made purposely for you to show you what's going on. This is a very common mistake. Okay, 56 divided by 14 is 4. Remember, it's not 4, it's negative 4. There's one negative in here, which means that it should be negative 4 as your answer, not positive 4. All right. There's one negative, so there should be one negative in your answer. Be very careful. Another place people make a lot of mistakes on. Okay. All right. Next one. A over negative 4 equals negative 28. Okay. So this is a case where, and I'll make this look a little bit neater here. That may look like a 9. So let's make that's an A. Okay, so A over negative 4 equals negative 28. Now I'm going to write this 28 as 28 over a 1. Okay. And what I want to do here is I'm going to actually use the multiplication principle. So all the problems I've done so far, I've divided both sides by the same number. Well, this time I'm going to take the whole thing and multiply the entire equation by negative 4. So I'll put parentheses around this, and I'll put a negative 4 here. I'll put parentheses around this, and I'll put a negative 4 over here as well. So I'm multiplying both sides of the equation by negative 4. In doing so, that negative 4 and negative 4 down here, they're going to cancel, and I'll get the A, which is what we're looking for. Now this, I have negative 28, and I'm really multiplying this by negative 4 over 1. So that's why I'm not multiplying the top and bottom by negative 4. I'm only multiplying the top by negative 4 in both these cases. Same with on the right-hand side, I'm only multiplying the top by negative 4, not the top and the bottom. All right. I'm multiplying by the number of negative 4, and negative 4 is a fraction I can write as negative 4 over 1. So that's the reason why you just get A here, and then this you're going to get 112 when you multiply that. Negative, negative gives you a positive. So that's one thing to be careful about. When you're multiplying a number like that, it's really a number over 1. So you're only multiplying the numerators, the tops,